I am filming this video in December of 2020 where I've just had the privilege of reading Casey McQuiston's second novel, One Last Stop. Holy shit. There is no way I could possibly wait to share my thoughts, so just know that this video has been in a vault waiting to explode for months now. A couple questions from December 2020. Great, thank you. So in the summer of 2019, my life changed when I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, this debut freaking novel from Casey McQuiston. I have a whole video about this book, whether you've read it or not and would like to know my thoughts on it. So One Last Stop is Casey McQuiston's second novel. I don't know how they feel about it being the follow-up to a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece that is Red, White, and Royal Blue. That's what it is. That's what One Last Stop is. That's just the nature of it. Like, we're all gonna compare it to the first one, whether they like it or not. Which they should, I think, because it really does hold up as a second book, especially following that one. One Last Stop is much more directly a rom-com, and it still falls into that, like, new adult age category, which is just a beautiful sweet spot, and it's right where I am age-wise, so I'm just loving reading them. You don't see a lot of it, and if you do, a lot of times it's either YA skewing older or it's adult books that are like super dark. And so Casey McQuiston has blessed us with this beautiful middle ground that is just like exactly what so many of us needed with Red, White, and Royal Blue. Casey McQuiston said with One Last Stop, imagine all of those explicit blowjob scenes in Red, White, and Royal Blue and make it women on the New York City subway. One Last Stop follows our main character, August. Beautiful name. I have been obsessed with that name for a really long time. And then comes, you know, the Taylor Swift song Last Summer. So August is new to New York. A lot of things have not been going great in her life, just like really having trouble finding grounding. In the first chapter, August meets her new roommates. We quickly get acquainted with this ensemble cast of queer, dynamic, supporting characters, and there are a lot. August meets this girl on the subway, and she makes a complete fool out of herself, spills her coffee all over herself. The book trickles into this love story where we learn that this subway girl, Jane, is stuck in this time loop on the Q train. She's always there when August gets on. She's from the 70s and has been stuck on the Q train, losing her memory since then. And August embarks on a mission to help her discover who she is and ultimately to save her. August also gets this job at a diner, which becomes a very significant part of the story as well. What stands out to me about this ensemble cast of just fantastic, fleshed out, real characters is that there is room for them to be way more lighthearted and funny than there was in Red, White, and Royal Blue, because while there is so much joy in this book, it also comes with the heaviness of being a discover your sexuality book, the heaviness of like the political B-plot as opposed to, you know, the working at a diner B-plot, and just the fact that the characters in this book are very high status as opposed to August and friends who are starving 21-year-olds. So with that comes almost like more air to breathe in the book, and just like more freedom in the characters and more freedom in Casey McQuiston's writing to just do whatever they want. And what they do is breathe all of the life into it. It's almost overwhelming how many different plots there are to keep track of. There's a love story between the drag queen who lives across the hall, whose name is Annie Depressant, which is just like some great drag queen names in this book. And one of August's roommates. There's the whole working at the diner thing, her relationship with her mother. I almost kept forgetting about Jane on the subway and how that was like the whole point of the book until we would be back on the subway. All of these stories there are to keep track of, which are all lovely, but it makes for like really hefty chapters where in each of them the stories are moving forward somehow. I thoroughly enjoyed my time reading it, like 100%. It's just a lot. Back to the supporting characters being hilarious though. Just when she's meeting Mila and her other roommates, August says, "I can't decide if I'm impressed or horrified." And Mila says, "My favorite emotional place, that's where horny lives." A giant stammering bisexual chameleon is how August describes herself. And the other thing, which actually carries over from Red, White, and Royal Blue, but if you ask me is like intensified to the nines here. Like Casey McQuiston really honed in on this specific thing as part of their writing style. And it's like this hazy, nostalgic paragraph montage where it's actually more just like a sentence, where it's like 5 super descriptive visuals to paint a picture of like a person or a day, and it's just this like sweeping, flowery sentence that takes your breath away. But then once I noticed it happening again and again, I was like, what? Like, there's so much of it. And I'm sorry to point this out because you will see it in like every chapter now. Shoes in a pile by the door, a bark of laughter under bar lights, passing a box of cereal over a Saturday morning. Beautiful, beautiful writing. But it's just this like hazy montage sentence to describe things that I was overwhelmed by. The bright red of her sneakers, fresh out of the box, the sun that used to fall across her bedroom floor, the mirror where she checked, the swoop of her hair, and the blue sky over her head. It's just this really tactful imagery to describe something that most writers would not use any kind of imagery for. So, one favorite part of the love story of mine, I mean, Casey McQuiston had already mastered this in Red, White, and Royal Blue with this slow burn at the beginning. Insta-love is not in their vocabulary. Trust and believe. But to imagine Jane as like a boomer who has to learn about cell phones, and there's another sort of montage where she's learning about oh my god, Mary Poppers. I just saw a highlight. Is another drag queen name. Mary Poppers, antidepressant. There was another really good one. Sarah Tonin. Too good. Things she doesn't know about: Overwatch, Frank Ocean, Easy Mac, Apple vs. PC, Postmates, Barack Obama, the Golden Girls. Jane has been trapped in this subway loop for years and years and years, still connects so well with August. And there are beautiful moments where we learn about what Jane's life as a queer woman was like in New York City. There could have been even more of that. I loved this one chapter where that is touched on. One Last Stop is out. I love this book so, so much. Please leave your thoughts down below. Go pick it up today. It is out. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Tiernan. Links to everything will be below. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!